Hello, and welcome to Season 3 of Super Pros Bros. I'm Player 2, Eli, and with me, as always, is...
Player one, Ike. And Brotel, California, did you know that this pod is on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify?
I did not, Chef Broardi. This is the same place as they could.
Like,
Comment,
share,
and subscribe.
you know, I do believe so.
Fancy.
Well, things that are not so awesome as listening to this podcast is the couple days ago event of the passing of the fantastic Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers, known for predominantly, most recently, The Mandalorian, but also Predator and Happy Gilmore as Chubbs, has sadly left this mortal coil behind and has gone on to bigger and brighter things in the next adventure that he's on. Wasn't super early on. I believe it was like cancer. I think he was like 78 and looking damn good for 78, I might add. And will always have a special place in my heart for one of the most innovative kill lines that's ever been said on camera. Just like him and a buddy have like cornered the big bad, and he's got a grenade launcher. And he goes, "How do you like your ribs?" It just like blows him the fuck up.
What?
It's busted. And that's how I will always remember Carl Weathers, even though arguably his most famous role is being Apollo Creed in Rocky. I like watching him with a grenade launcher, or maybe it was a flamethrower, just lighting somebody up with the most fucking kick-ass fucking question ever.
How do you like your ribs?
How do you like your ribs? Speaking of how do you like things, how did you like your last couple weeks, my guy? What's been going on with you?
Say, not a whole hell of a lot since we last recorded. This week has been fairly low key. Yeah, that's. I mean, I went to work. Ooh, I braved Costco. Like, there hasn't been a whole ton of notable shit going on right now. I
Are you? I forget last, so I apologize if you've already answered this question. I know there's looks at going back and retaking that test to get certified to get
no,
more of that cash money.
no.
That's just that ship has sailed.
I have no interest in dealing with that fucking dog shit company ever again. I found them infuriating to deal with. I found them frustrating and terrible customer service. I found them just tilting. I found the test impractical. I I don't like anything they do. I don't like that they have a monopoly on a certification. I don't like that there just isn't another way to fucking get it outside of going through them, because they're the only ones who apparently have the qualifications to assign you a few bullshit letters that people put value on. I do not like them, Sam. I do not like them with a clam.
But I would like to kick them in the clam. So what is next on the agenda for you work-wise? Are you gonna
fucking clue?
Okay.
I have zero idea what I want to do moving forward. I have zero idea what I want to do tomorrow. Like,
Might I recommend starting with a shower?
Yeah, I would probably get up and go to work as like an automated rote process. But as far as my future plans and my career goals, orientation, all that shit, I have a fucking idea. Like, I am still working on restructuring most of my life into a coherent set of operations, because half of it is functionally missing as far as my brain is concerned. So I have no fucking clue what I want to do in a professional context.
Valid.
All I know is fuck those people. They suck. I don't ever want to talk to them. Listen, if you are supposedly based in Chicago and I call you at what would be 2 p.m. and I can't talk to somebody where English is their first language, fuck you. You outsourcing gaggle of cunts. Like, not to I'm not trying to be discriminatory, but if I want to try and negotiate something, I don't want to be dealing with a goddamn language barrier at the time.
That's valid.
Like, God. I also just hate. I hate that its whole thing is a multiple choice test. Its whole thing is it's designed to ask you effectively trick questions. The truth is that's not how businesses run. That's not how people operate. That and it would have been a much more practical guide and actual aptitude check would be giving you questions where you can write answers and explain your rationale and reasoning, and then have someone grade that criterion. But that would require actual fucking effort, so they don't. Fuck them.
Fuck them all.
Like I am very jaded because their customer service is trash. But I also think what they're doing and the way they're doing it is also not good. Genuinely. I have very strong feelings about this, apparently.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, no idea.
All right, well, I'll take the mic from you then to
Please
let
do.
you simmer a bit. This last... So since we last spoke, yeah, wow, it really has not been that long.
It's been like a week.
Yeah, it's been a week. Thought we bought ourselves more time with when we recorded, but I guess we didn't. Any which way, in front of the ball. Yeah, this last week, kids are being idiots. I'm trying to learn how to control my anger around them, even though they are like wildly wrong, which is the weirdest experience for me. Is like having to be the like so much the adult, not like the adult by like a little bit, the adult by like a incalculable magnitude.
No.
Like I've gotten a talking to, and I understand their point, but I'm pretty sure I'll get a talking to on Monday, potentially for the way I handled something where a student went in the bathroom and took a picture of an like over the stall of another kid, and I yelled at him. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get like, hey, can't be yelling at them. Like they can't be committing actual crimes in my presence either. So that's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll get yelled at for that, but I kind of feel like I might. I don't know.
I feel like that's a decent one to kind of stand your ground a little bit there. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's an awkward line.
I definitely there's a couple. Yeah, they definitely see it as a problem. I think they like to approach their general approach is a lot more pacifistic when it comes to tone and volume than mine is.
Sure.
Which valid. I'm also new to the whole education thing, and they are being very, to the credit of my to my workplace, they are being very understanding, and it's not like, hey, that's a strike on your record. They're like, hey, so this is what we like to do here. Try in the future do blank. It's like,
yeah,
all right, that's fair. I haven't, to be fair, this has not gotten brought up to me yet, but I would not be surprised if it does. But if it doesn't, cool. That being said, love all my coworkers by and large. There's one woman who just needs to move to fucking Holland and shut the fuck up about it. Every fucking day with this bitch. Just like, do you know that America sucks and Holland's great? Cool, move there. I'm done listening to you talk. Holland's not literally in every way better than the United States. There is no diversity in that fucking country. It's all Dutch people because it's Holland. And that's fine, but stop talking about all this shit like it's not gray. It's like black and white with her. America sucks. In Holland, this would happen. It's like, just fucking leave then, please, lady. Like, I'm sure Holland's great, but like every day to be reminded about it at a loud volume is just like fucking nauseating. Sans her, I love everybody I work with. She's fine, but god damn it,
You're tired of dealing with a walking pamphlet from Holland?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know, the other day somebody brought up like, oh, the way we treated Native Americans and like black people was terrible. Like Native Americans were so much nicer to each other. No, they fucking weren't. We were bad. We were the worst. Don't get me wrong. We did heinous shit. We perfected racism. First ballot Hall of Fame racism goes to the United States. We did it better than anybody else basically ever. sans moments in like Asian and German history. Other than
I don't
that,
know. Britain might have us beat, but we are a hard contender.
yeah, I mean, ostensibly, you could also make an argument that we are the continuation of Britain's racism,
Sure.
because I don't think after the United States split off, they got worse than we did. They did fucked up shit, like what they did in India and what they did in China was bad, but what we did to the Native Americans was fucking banana. The reason we killed the buffalo was to starve them to death. Like, I mean, we nearly wiped out an animal to wipe out a people. Like, that's amazing. This all being said, what the Native Americans did to each other before white people arrived and even afterwards was fucking hardcore.
Tribalism and tribal warfare is brutal as shit.
Yeah.
In every region of the world, you see it. Like,
yeah,
you see
it's a human thing.
It's the same shit in Asia. It's the same shit in Africa. It's the same shit in America.
Yeah.
Tribal warfare is warfare.
Yeah,
and it's fucking savage.
It's warfare that usually ends up in genocide. They usually to make sure the enemy doesn't like, you know, come back and fuck you up as recompense. The easiest way to do that is make sure there's no enemy to do that, which means root and stem, remove them.
Yeah, I mean Rwandan genocide, like it's tribal warfare. That was just kind of the biggest example, like biggest modern example.
Yeah, I mean what the Native Americans used to do from anthropological historians' perspectives is when they would win, they would kill all the men of age, usually most of the boys of age, babies sometimes, but not always. The women would become like, you know, their sex slaves and or wives, depending upon how, you know, they looked at that kind of thing. But that, I mean, they just like wholesale just removed them from the earth. Like, yeah. And it makes sense. I'm not like, is it okay in a modern age? Fuck no. Does it make sense in a primitive age? Fuck yes. And like having these conversations, and I brought that up and she goes, well, it's like, there's no well. Like, it's fine. It makes, I'm not saying they're bad for having done it. What we did was just actually bad. We looked at people differently and said, we're better than you and you don't deserve to live because of it. They looked at people as the enemy, which they were, and defended their future, which makes sense. Like the reason they did it is just correct given the time frame and time period and like what was going on. It was kind of like it fit the mold. When we were doing slavery, the planet was looking at us like, Jesus Christ, you want to chill a lot? Like literally in British magazines in the 1800s, they were making fun of us because we still use slaves like an out-of-date iPhone. They're like, look at these fucking numbskulls still using slaves. Oh, get with the times, America. Like, no joke. That is a comic that existed in 1800s newspaper. Anyway.
Yeah, way off the fucking beat.
Way off topic. So the reason we are recording this so soon after our last one, we have so little to speak about, is this next weekend I will be going to the regional championship in where's this one? Denver, or basically the Denver airport, because the people that are running it decided they didn't want to pay for something in actual Denver. So I'm arriving at the airport and I could probably walk to the tournament site, which if you know where the Denver airport is in relation to Denver is hilarious. Because then Denver airport's like fucking half an hour drive from Denver proper. It's like very much was made after the city was like coming into its own. So regional championship Denver airport is next weekend. Hopefully that goes amazingly and I have great news to share. But that's something else that happened. So this last week at work, we were going, our Monday meeting, we were going through, we were going through like some paperwork with our new payout system change, and somebody showed us this IRS website that had a way to calculate how much money you made, or like money you'd make in a year. And at the beginning of the session, or before that, early that day, I went to bed like an hour earlier than I'm usually going to. I was gonna wake up nice and early, or I was gonna wake up on time, get plenty of rest, and then I slept 5 hours, woke up, and for an hour tried to go back to bed and couldn't. So that was fun. So I decided to wake up, use my time, go through my budget and see if I could like move any money around, because I'd realized the night before that I was actually like kind of burning a little bit of money every week. Not a lot, but enough that it was eventually going to become a problem. So I'm looking
Yeah.
at it, trying to find room, and then I go to work. They're showing this. I was like, cool. I kind of wanted to double check my math, hope that I had missed a dot, and that I was making a little bit more money. I put it in the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, the people that you have to pay every year that should know how money works. I put it into the system, and it says, "Hey, you're actually making $400 more a month than you think you are." Like, because okay, so a little bit a little bit of back information. I am a tutor at a charter school, so I don't work during the summer, and we have unpaid vacations. That's fine and good. However, that means I do need to plan accordingly, as I will not have money during that time. So I take the amount of money I make, and then I extrapolate it over a year, and then budget accordingly. So the amount I do make plenty a month. However, I like stretch it out to fit. I just stretch out like my 9.5 months over 12 months. And I had done it. Looks like I had done a small calculation error, but according to the IRS website, I'd done a big calculation error. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, drinks are on me, bitches!" Like $400 extra a month. That's sick. It's gonna take care of a lot of problems. And I was like, "This doesn't feel right though. Like, how did I fuck up that bad on math? Like, am I a moron? Like, what happened?" And so I'm happy about it, but I'm thinking about it. And I got informed, sadly, that I won't be able to go to the next regional championship in Dallas this year. Balls, whatever. I took it actually surprisingly well, which if anybody that's listening actually knows me, they'll know that that is very surprising. I usually get bent out of shape about not being able to do what I want to do, because that's one of my biggest importances in life, is having like agency over what I do. But hearing that I earned $400 more a month, I had some leniency in my mood, apparently.
I mean, yeah, $400 of leniency.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, you know what? You take the good with the bad. It's all, this balances out. I go then to look at the next day. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And I sit down, I break it down, I break it down, I break it down. I do it 4 times, and I always come out with, no, I'm earning a little bit more than I thought, but not $400 more. I'm earning $100 more. And I do the math, and I'm just right. I was right, and the IRS was wrong on a math problem. I don't know what that says about our country, but yeah. So I found money, not as much as I'd wanted, and proved the IRS wrong for whatever value point that is. Anyway, that was my last week. And as much as that almost $400 a month cheered me up, I don't think it ever has cheered me up as the topic we're going to talk about today. What we got slated, Broskinkowski?
Talking about music. Yeah, and this isn't like an attempt to be objective and say, "Oh, this music better than this music." No. We're just talking about soundtracks in films and shows that we thoroughly soundtracks or kind of opening themes.
Mostly opening themes.
Let's say a lot of his very opening themes. And because music can just, there is some music in shows and movies that just bangs. It just slaps. It's terrific. And so we're going to talk about some that stand out to us and why we like them. And that's it. What's first?
Buddy, it's the one that inspired this for me. It's the one that I said when we were like kind of spitballing the idea, and if memory serves, you were mildly trepidatious about it, and then I hit you with a for those of you that didn't have a good childhood, that's X-Men, the animated series, all like 1993 or what have you.
Yeah, I didn't have the same connection to it because it came out when I was born.
Oh, well, no, it wasn't the same connection. I thought that when we started talking about this, you were like, what intros could this possibly, like, you were kind of at the idea of the topic. Any which way, doesn't matter. Aside from my co-host sad upbringing and not knowing this to his core,
the same house,
6 years apart, so
same parents.
Get fucked, nerd. X-Men animated series, busted intro. Looking back, the show is fine. It's definitely not as good as it doesn't hold up nearly as well as the intro does, sadly. Wolverine is a fucking grumpy bitch in the fucking show. He sucks. he gets his ass beat on the regular. The only thing he does well is smell things, honestly. Like, like he doesn't die, but he gets the shit kicked out of him and he smell things. That's the show. Oh, and he tries to steal Cyclops' girlfriend a lot. Like,
Gotta have a hobby.
He's got a very big hobby. That and being fucking put out that his friend got killed in like the second episode, which valid. But voiced amazingly though. It's a great. I think it probably is what inspired the voicing of all future like Wolverine characters. It's kind of like it was alongside. Oh shit! How is this not gonna? Is this gonna get added to the list now that I say this? This one premiered alongside the fucking noir Batman show around the same time. And I feel like his voice is kind of the same as Kevin Conroy's in that everybody just kind of used it moving forward anytime they voiced Batman is they were doing an homage to Kevin Conroy.
I don't actually remember the theme song for the original Batman cartoon.
I need to look it up now, but while I do
while you're
that,
doing that, I love Gravity Falls. I love the fucking theme song. It's just such a cute little jingle. Like it really isn't much more than that. It's just delightful. Like just kind of like the rest of the show. It's just fucking delightful. It's very upbeat. It's a little bit of a bop, and it doesn't overstay its welcome. And I don't think I ever skip it. Like I just enjoy it. It's like the best elevator jingle ever. It's a weird sales pitch I'm giving it. But yeah, like it just kind of fits for the rest of the show. It's very whimsical. It's great. Full stop.
Next up on the list, we've got one that is probably antithetical to Gravity Falls.
Very much so.
Which is BoJack Horseman, with the intro via the drummer of the Black Keys and his then uncle, who is sadly now passed. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's all of like a minute long, if that, with a fantastic saxophone outro.
It's like a synthesizer and a saxophone. Like,
yeah,
that's pretty much it.
Anyway, now that I have had it on as my ringtone at the same time as my now landlord, and we've been like chilling, eating food, and one of our phones went off, and we both reached for our phones because we thought it was specifically ours.
That's amazing.
But yeah, banger starting through, so much fun. In a way, emblematic of the show, in that it's kind of giving off these very obscure, mildly melancholy vibes while having good energy to it. But just between that and the intro visuals, which are fantastic, it's just, man, it's so perfect. Speaking of things that are perfect, take away what is stolen from me, please.
Oh, fuck off. I'm sorry you didn't pounce on it earlier. Cowboy Bebop.
Forgive me, no hobbies.
Yeah, you deserve this. Not only is Tank arguably the best show opener of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was gonna say, there's no way you fight this, but I'll die here.
No, yeah, I'm definitely not fighting this. I was like trying to think if there's like, is there anything that even comes close? I don't think so. It's just such a banger.
It is an all-time banger. It is probably something you could argue against it, but you'd have to really argue.
There's nothing that beats it. There's only things that match it. I would say.
I'd agree with that. Tank is just a banger. The rest of the fucking soundtrack is a banger. Every episode's music, dude, bangs.
Like, best show soundtrack of all time, and I don't even have to look or wait. It's not fucking close.
Like again, you might have some that can match it at parody. I don't think you could argue. Like the only way you wouldn't like it is if you just hate jazz on principle and are sad. Like it's
those two are tied together.
Yeah, they
hating
go
jazz
hand
on
in
principle and being sad.
Yeah, like the show sounds like the show's soundtrack has such a huge variety too. Like that's the
while
other
still
thing.
being all jazz too.
Yes, like it's so good. And every episode's music is different,
Yep.
which is kind of the crazy part. Like,
Yeah, it's got its own vibe to it that fits within the episode. Like there's
yeah,
that one that is like rock s with
yeah, like Heavy Metal Queen has
Heavy
a
Metal
bunch
Queen,
of like
yeah.
fucking electric guitar. It's just like, wait, what?
Yeah. Still jazz, still slaps ass.
Yeah, like its soundtrack is so, and then it has like um the acapella, not, it's not acapella actually, there is some instrumentation to it,
Yeah, the yeah, it's something
like
birds.
Greenbird.
No,
That isn't right.
maybe uh
Yeah, but it's like where it's just flipping through Spike's memories.
I mean it might be the song called Memory. I'm looking through their list right now.
Also, outro is a fucking banger
The
too.
outro is fucking ba-da-da-da-da-da. Is
Yeah.
that the one you're talking about? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Like that is the other thing. There are very few shows I will sit and listen to the credit music and not just immediately hit go to next episode. Cowboy Bebop is one of those shows.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Greenbird, Adieu, and Memory are like the three that like stand out that are probably the name of that song. I forget which one it is.
I think it is Greenbird.
Yeah. But like they
Anyways,
still fit within
yes.
the vibe. It's fucking amazing.
It's just it's so good. It's such a vast amount of music, and
It's
it
a lot.
all is
I'm
so
looking at
good.
the list for
It's
a
huge.
26 episode series run. It's a lot. And
Yeah,
there are
like
a lot of bangers.
there are very few songs that are used more than once.
Yeah.
Like
Like
beyond
Tank
the intro
is
outro, like actual
yeah.
music in the episode, very
I
little
think
is used
it's
more than once.
usually yeah, they're usually kind of they're kind of usually episode bound.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like that is so much time in a recording studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways, so I'm sorry you have to follow this, but what's up next?
it's a bit divergent, but anime adjacent all the same. We got Chainsaw Man.
That is just anime. It's not adjacent.
Shut up. You don't know nothing
About anything.
anything. Chainsaw's intro is just I have never skipped it. It's so much fucking fun.
I would say probably fucking madcap zany visuals too.
Also that doesn't hurt, yeah. I would love to sing it, but I can't speak Japanese no good, so I'm not gonna. Yeah. It's just it fits with the show too. The show is high octane. The intro is high octane. It's just busted.
It's a fucking good bop for sure.
Yeah.
Also,
Anyway,
I waited so long for the Technicolor, like the future demon. I'm like, what on God's name is that? And you finally see him. I'm like, ah, there it is.
I fucking love that guy too. That guy's great.
It's absolutely bananas.
Stick your head inside of me. Like,
put your head in my eye.
yeah, put your head in my eye.
What?
What the hell? Oh, God, so good. All right.
This one I would actually argue is anime adjacent. I do like the intro for Arcane. A lot of people don't like Imagine Dragons. They call it like the modern day Nickelback. I don't agree with that take.
I see where they're coming from.
I see it. I don't agree personally.
I think we probably just gave Nickelback too hard of a time. And also Imagine has kind of changed their stuff up. They are kind of in line with like Nickelback and Mumford & Sons, except they're just the best version of both of those by like enough that I don't give a shit. I don't know.
Sure.
If you don't like it, you on the plus side to give them props, if you don't like them, you'll know in one song. Like it's pretty implemented. They've got a style and they don't really move on from it, which is good if you want to know, do I like this band? You only have to listen to one of them.
Fair. But I liked Enemy for Arcane. I thought it fit really well. It fits the theme of the show. It's the right amount of kind of dramatic. It's like the right tint of dramatic music for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it felt very, very fitting. A lot of people, now granted, my friend hates that they have visual representations of them, so that fucking Imagine Dragons is technically canon and they exist in the
Oh,
arcade
in the
universe.
world, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it just goes really well with the show. Like when I was watching it with Colton, like we agreed like, no, we're just gonna fucking listen. Like it's a very good cut of the song to fit. It's just perfect. Sugi.
So next up, we've got. I'm gonna kind of put these together because they just are nostalgia dumps for me. Which is
Mm-hmm.
Mash and to a lesser extent Cheers.
Yeah, Mash for sure.
Yeah, Cheers is just. I think Cheers is just in the words they say because I didn't really watch that much of the show.
Mm-hmm.
But like, everybody knows your name. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, it's very heartwarming. And then Mash is just like Mash feels like the Pavlov equivalent of an intro outro in that like it trigger like there's nothing to it. It's pretty vanilla. All right.
Sorry,
Well, you
my
messed up
helping are
one
hurting.
note, so we're gonna take it from the top again. Don't think I didn't notice.
It's hard to control pitch when you're whistling. I'm sorry.
For you, maybe, bitch. No, you did a great job. Uh, Mash is just Mash is just so good, and I think for the both of us, the whistling is good. Or whistling, the tune is good. It's lovely, but it's more emblematic of the show.
Yeah,
Where
it's more what it's
interestingly enough,
tied to.
yeah, Cheers is for me, it's the opposite. The show was like very much whatever. The intro was very sweet and easy to like. It was like basically a jingle. It
Huh.
like stuck in my head. It very much came around the same time. It was just, every time I heard that, it was you relaxed.
Hmm.
I would in like anytime I hear that now, I am calm. I am at peace. It reminds me that it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna watch the show that at the end I'm gonna leave feeling happy. It's all gonna be closed up nicely. It's not gonna be bittersweet. Even in the episodes that are Mash did something that's incredible. I think Cheers probably did it too. I think I've watched like 3 episodes lifetime. Other than one episode I can think of, it always ends happy. You always, even though you're in war, even though you're in strife, you get
Hmm.
to leave optimistic, hopeful, knowing that the world is in the right place because these doctors are saving these people, and it's just perfect.
Hmm.
Now to ruin it, Eli's show. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, no fair. I don't. I have very mixed feelings about Evangelion. In many ways, I really don't like it. Shinji is an insufferable protagonist. He's so
The
obnoxious.
worst.
He
I
is
can't believe we
awful.
didn't note him on like what was it, 4 episodes ago or like that.
Yeah,
It was so damn annoying
he's
and
so
inept.
obnoxious.
He's both of those. He is inept as fuck and just the most annoying character
Yeah,
in the
the only
show.
reason I kind of give him a pass is he's supposed to be inept. He's supposed to be this kid who's out of
Yeah,
his depth, but he just screams constantly.
yeah. He's supposed to be the stand-in for the show.
Yeah. However, the opener is a fucking bop.
Yeah.
Like, god damn, that show did not deserve that opener. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just, I've listened to that. I've listened to its intro song in the car driving places. Like, Artemis used to play it, and at no point was I like, this song is terrible. Skip it. I was just like, yeah, like I wanted to speed to that song. It's just so upbeat and peppy. It's such a bop. If you haven't listened to it, go look it up. It's wonderful. You don't need to watch the show associated with it. Just enjoy the song.
Trying to find the next one because we almost skipped it, but I can't. is the nice? That was really good.
Thank you.
Where is the fucking? I'm trying to find this one song that I've talked about before. We reviewed the show together. What's the show about the one of the characters is like a fucking mushroom.
What?
The main characters runs this like it's got
Stop speaking in sentence fragments.
I can't words fail me. God damn it. I'm trying to look for the fucking starts with like an S maybe. This is gonna be amazing.
One of the most used letters in the alphabet. That doesn't help.
There's an Asian dude who's addicted to drugs, a mushroom, a dumb guy named Brett who fucking is literally just a people pleaser. Why can't I find it? It's like not my favorite pop. Where is this? I know we covered this.
What are you trying? Like, the only thing I can think of for characters of mushroom is like Midnight Gospel, maybe.
No,
Okay.
that one's good too, but that was the they didn't. I don't wait.
It's the only thing I can think of where like a character might be a mushroom.
No, it's like a secret society. Their black character named Gigi. She fucking resets the thing.
Inside Job.
Thank you. Fuck. All right, now that you've seen that mental breakdown. Fuck! I could not find it and think of any way to Google it. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Gigi, you beautiful black bitch. Saving the day yet again.
All you had to say is like conspiracy theory. And
I don't know words or
there.
how to say them. Anyway, back to the program. Inside Job has a banger intro. It's one of my favorite of all time. Have danced naked to it more than once. It was worth every minute. The show season 2 is fine, much worse than season 1. That being said, they wisely kept the intro, and it just slaps the whole way through.
It's true.
Would recommend I think it's like 30 seconds. It's wildly short.
I think it's like 40, but yeah, it's very short.
It's very short, but it like slaps. Anyway, well, you
recover.
I'm gonna go recover. Eli, you talk. I'm gonna go get something to wash down my sadness.
The only game entry on this list, Hades. Hades has an incredible soundtrack. That is all meant to be very thematic of where you are and what's happening, and it does a phenomenal job at it too. Like there's basically and it's supposed to be all played by Orpheus. So like while you're sitting in the house,
all the music is supposed to be played by Orpheus.
I mean, I think that's kind of the idea, since he is the main composer. Effectively, I mean, like, so when you pick up, like, for example, spoilers for a game that's several years old, when you were coming back with his mom, I mean, the music is clearly from Orpheus. You know, it's in the blood. Like, that's clearly composed by Orpheus. So I think the whole idea is that the music is all done by Orpheus. But it's so great thematically, and there's a huge range too. Like, it basically turns into a fucking metal album when you're fighting Hades, especially when Phase 2 starts.
Yep.
Ready your asshole. Like,
also fun. Have you gone over? Sorry, I literally stepped out of the room.
Yeah, I know. I heard the fact that the instrumentation is supposed to be all done from like instruments they would have at the time.
Yeah, or like kind of. I think some of the ones they've kind of like reformatted them so that they like they didn't have electric guitars then, but they kind of like electrified a stringed instrument from back then or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used the correct instrumentation to blend the the time period with the genre that they're making. Just fucking, I mean, it's the continuing awesome of the game that you love so much.
Yeah.
Of that, all right, how do we blend a game with lore? How do we, how do we blend, it's the perfect summation of both parts. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Tsugi? Which means next.
I know, it's taking a breath. This is we're hitting childhood bedrock here. For those of you that grew up in the 90s, like grew up, this is like grade school shit. There's this awesome show, this is one of the after school specials, if you will. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where, ready up, gumshoes. I'm trying to remember her name. She sadly passed away like the last 5 years or something like that. She was this awesome badass bitch who like ran the show. It was this like fun game show for kids to come on, and you like try to solve problems to catch the the elusive Carmen Sandiego, who's this worldwide cat burglar of sorts. It's fucking fantastic, and just always is such an earworm. And hold on, I'm gonna look up the name. Thank you very much, Greg Lee, for sticking that earworm in my head for the rest of my life. You'll be missed. Next up.
It's the only foreign film? Well, no, we're talking about fucking Abbott. What am I babbling about? Jesus Christ! All right, Eli fucking got hit with the stupid bat for a minute there.
Runs in the family.
Yeah, I guess. The Raid. The Raid is a banger movie for martial arts choreography in general, but its soundtrack also slaps. I think it's mostly composed by Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park.
The fuck?
I believe so.
That's dope.
But it's a banger track. Like it has a lot of the movie, it's a lot of very high octane, very tense music. That kind of like helps move you on the edge of your fucking seat. It's very fitting, and it's very, very moving. Kind of literally metaphorically. So it's great. Like it adds to the kind of ambiance of the movie, or the vibe of the movie. So 10 out of 10.
Next up, this one is just something about this one. I think it's the collision of the show when it came out, John Hamm on the uptick, and the fact that I love the artist that created it, is the Mad Men intro, which was done by RJD2. It's a fantastic electronic creator, composer, and performer. I would highly recommend all of his stuff. And it's really simple. It's really basic, just like the imagery in the intro of this kind of black and white, like near black and white and red cutout of the main character, just kind of, almost like just bopping around like a mediocre $10 video game, but it's just right. It fits and it makes no sense, but it fits. Watch the intro and you'll know what I'm talking about. Things that make a lot more sense.
I mean, speaking of jazzy soundtracks, The Incredibles. My God, The Incredibles. Like,
my God, Francine.
These crocodiles.
These crocodiles, Francine.
My God.
Oh my God.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Hey Isaac, how do you know you're related to your brother Eli and you just pick him out of a fucking pumpkin farm? Well,
these crocodiles.
Crocodiles.
Just hear the call and response is, my God, Francine, these crocodiles. It's the litmus test if we've ever got a brain parasite.
Is that really? Yeah. Well, this is gonna be the easiest, like, fucking krill invasion solve. You're my brother, right? Of course I am your brother. These crocodiles are tasty. Bang! Like, wrong answer.
On a serious note, the Incredible soundtrack is fucking outstanding. It's just a lot of jazz. And it's again, it's very good kind of mood music. It does, it does the very good thing between like suspense to action to like strange enough, one of our noteworthy songs that I really remember is where like life is good for Bob. And it's just like the swing song where everything is fucking on the up and up, and he feels great, and life is
Hmm.
great.
Oh yeah, it's where he's like bench pressing a fucking like
Yeah.
rail car.
Yeah. Like it's very, very good mood music. And it doesn't ever detract from what's happening on screen. It just helps amplify it and add an extra layer of kind of impact to it. And it's just really well done. So it's great. It deserves an nod.
So speaking of things that deserve a nod or two or 1,000 as you listen to it, is the Boondocks intro. I'm not gonna try and sing it because I'm gonna fail and do it justice,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
fair.
cannot recommend anything.
I'm really sad. It's not actually part of a larger song.
It's just standalone.
It's just that.
Yeah, I wish it was. It's kind of beautiful that it's not part of a larger song that like they got that made
Yeah,
just for
but I
them.
want more
But I
of it.
want, yeah, I
Yeah,
want
exactly.
more. I would like more of that song, please. It's not long enough. It's so fucking dope. It's got such a great groove to it. Yeah, just oh my god. I we have to move on, otherwise I'm gonna start singing it.
Yeah, no, we can't. For so many reasons, we cannot do this. All right, Promise Neverland is a great show. We don't talk about season two. It didn't happen. It doesn't exist. It can't hurt me. Um, dude, I've never seen a show fall off a cliff nearly as hard or as fast. Oh
Sag.
my god, it's so bad. I I actually don't think there is a better example of terrific season one, god awful season two. I actually think it wins the competition forever. I'm not even kidding. Anyways, season one, however, because there was no season two, there is
Uh-huh.
no
Of
war within the walls.
course. Why would
We,
there be?
we are safe in Bossing Say. Um, season one had a fucking banger opening. Um, like, god damn, that song is hype. It, I, I can't sing it because I'm not fluent in Japanese and I don't know the words in front of me. But god damn, it's a banger. Like the season one opener fucking slaps. Um, and
It's called Touch Off for those that want to look it up.
thank you. So I have to quick pull it back up. Yeah, it's like 2 minutes, worth it. Don't skip it. Enjoy. Don't watch season two. It didn't happen. What's next?
Again, kind of maybe this belongs with the earlier one, but for anybody that grew up before me or even after me, I think growing up, you will have remembered, I hope, one show, and that's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. This is the closest thing I think we're going to see to Jesus Christ on television for an afternoon program. Guy was just good. You can talk shit about how he's basic, you can talk shit about how he didn't curse or have edge, but the man cared, and the man did just only good things. Everybody that knew him said, yeah, he was weird, but a great guy. And the worst thing anybody's ever said about him is like, yeah, he's a bit quirky. That's it. Like
Oh no,
when you lived 80 years on this planet, and they're like, yeah, it's a bit, it's a
it's a
bit
bit
plain.
weird.
It's like, all right, well, that's the only indictment you got. Yeah, the guy sounds like a winner,
Yeah,
and
like
he helped so many of us with so much. And then to top it off, the intro reminds me a lot of growing up. I had this wind up teddy bear that played, I think it was like Bear's Picnic or something like that on
oh
like a
my
little
god,
sound
yeah,
box.
holy shit, that was a nostalgia hit and a half. My whole
Yeah.
body has goosebumps now.
I wish I could send you guys a link for it, but it's a teddy bear, so that's going to be a little hard. However, the intro to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is very similar to that. It sounds like it's on a wind up music box, and it's just this lovely hand drawn or created set imagery that it just pans across. and remind you that you're in this lovely, you're with Mr. Rogers now. You're going to learn something good, and everything's going to be good. There's going to be no strife. He's just going to say hi. It's like basically the television experience of a therapist,
Hmm.
of just like informing you of things that will better your life. And almost like the way he talks is more like listening than speaking, really. And it's just so damn refreshing. So
Hmm.
if you really want to go back in time and feel okay, I would recommend looking up the intro to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Hmm.
All right, now scare
Going
the shit out of us, please.
going fucking hard opposite of this.
We put these in order clearly.
Oh man, I didn't even think about the implications. What I'm picking. Oh, do I have to? Yeah, I do. Attack on Titan is a banger show, and it has banger openers. Like they get memed on because they're good. I'll fight that. I mean, just I mean, you could everything from Sasago to the rumbling. Like I did not skip ahead. I listened to that shit. I got assaulted by the trumpets. Like it was wonderful. Whoever put together the openers, they love their brass section. Jesus. Um, but they go hard. I mean, just like the show. It's just bang in your face. It's abrasive. It's awesome. I I really like the openings for Attack on Titan. Again, literally any iteration, all the openers banged. 10 out of 10. Like and it was popular enough it got memed on. So I think that people kind of forgot. No, they're actually just great.
Yeah,
That's
just
my
that.
take. Great show, great openers.
So, one of the video games I played growing up was this game that I would go over to my friend Reed's place, and we played this game called Streets of Rage 2. I think I went over, I remember I spent the night at least 3 times growing up, and we would just sit down, play the game all the way through, and then go to bed. I own this game now on Steam. I have bought the recently created Streets of Rage 4. Streets of Rage 2 has the best soundtrack I think I've ever experienced in a video game. Maybe Sans Hades, but I'm not even sure. And a lot of that is just going to be nostalgia.
Fair.
Literally, the guy who made the soundtrack does DJ work now, where he just takes the Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack and mixes it. That's how good and like has people jumping around in Japanese nightclubs all night long until morning breaks. That's what he does with this. You can find them online. I will try and locate them and put them in the show notes. It's fucking incredible. And it still slaps. Like it's fucking it's it's 90s 8-bit badassery. Just let's go. Need to go fight some fat guy eating a hot dog. Yes, really.
all,
Quick before he breathes fire because it's a chili dog.
all
Yes,
I can
really.
and now all I can think is the fucking M Bison meme. Yeah.
All right. From hilarity to Hall of Fame, what's next up, buddy?
Samurai Champloo. I can't fucking do a record scratch. I'm not a soundboard. Um, Samurai Champloo. I think a lot of its music was done by the same guy who did Cowboy Bebop. So
New hobbies. Yeah.
yeah, it kind of tracks that it's still dope. Very different. Um,
Yeah. I'll
it's
say.
it's a lot more funk. It's a lot more hip hop. It's fucking awesome. Like it's again, it's something I can't give it justice to by just talking about it because I'm not a band. Um, Imagine my mouth isn't a series of instruments, but it hits a lot of different notes. It has a lot of unique music. I don't think it has as much unique music as Cowboy Bebop did, um, but it still absolutely slaps. The music is so good, um, and the show itself is so good as well. Um, like the opener is still great. I I don't even have to think, and it's already queued up in my head. Um, which is kind of odd. I remember when you showed it to me, I was like, I didn't care for the opener, and now years later, I'm like, that shit's great. Like I don't know, it just kind of grew on me slowly. It's infectious.
It is.
What is
Something else that will never leave your mind. I hope all of you got to have this experience. It's a rainy day. The teacher's hungover. There's a sub who's unprepared. Time to turn on Bill Nye,
the science guy.
Bill. Science.
Bill Nye,
rules.
the science guy.
Fucking still
holy
rent free in the
shit.
old noggin. I can see the VHS. I can smell the dust on the on the windsel that hasn't been cleaned off because the janitor's lazy. Fucking busted. What are we learning about today? Don't care. We're with Bill. It's gonna be dope.
You know what? I would not have thought about this being on this list, but fair. It's a fair entry. That shit is an earworm, and it's still. You know what? I don't know the last time I thought about that. It's still there clearly.
Rent free, full script.
Fucking,
just
you
fucking
say, nudge the box, immediately pop the shit out. Like, just oh yeah, no, we still got it. It's like it's still in the jukebox for some reason.
Software that was installed with a fucking power drill. Just this is never leaving. It's forever.
Random note: I can't think of Power Drill without thinking of the Natural Habitat skit. More pancake for me.
I had a bad dream too, Papa. Jesus Christ.
Okay, bring us back on topic. While very different, I'll admit I'm not the biggest guy for hair metal and glam rock, but holy shit, I love Peacemaker, and holy shit, that intro, banger. Part of it, the song is great. It's actually just I have to look at the song. What's the song? Do You Want to Taste It by Wigwam? Like it's an actual.
Do you want to taste it?
You know what? Terrific. No notes. It's a Norwegian glam metal band. I did not know they were from Norway.
Awesome.
But wait, what? It sounds like 80s rock. It's actually off their 2010 album.
Yeah. Bringing it back.
Outrageous. I love it. Anyway, the song also terrific on its own. Standalone, no notes. It's great. But it's made even better by people doing choreography. Deadpan as fuck. I don't know who decided to have everyone just be fucking expressionless. Amazing. It's so captivating, and I couldn't tell you why. I love it. It's so good. Like, it's a combination of I just wanted to see what weird details I could notice every time I watch the opener, and part of it's just the song is awesome. So, yeah, Peacemaker, fucking thumbs up to you. Marvelous.
All right. Ostensibly, my last entry on this is only controversial because of the person who created it and his recent proclivity to throw hands at big big affairs. We got the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So there I was. I can hear the song, I can't sing it, but yep. Goddamn. Again, rent
Live
free.
with your auntie and your uncle in Bel-Air.
Said, yo ho, home, smell you later. I remember the like bite-sized chunks. I don't think I can do it in order. But...
Yeah, I know some of my friends who could just off the top of their head do it. For some reason, I can't do that, but I could do Ultimate Battle of Ultimate Destiny for some fucking reason. That one's still living there. I'm pretty sure I can, for the record, which I'm kind of sad about.
There's admittedly, as much as he is a douchebag for what he has done, there was a years ago. There's this interview he Will Smith had on the Graham Norton show talking about that show because he's the one of the creators and kept his name as his character's name wisely on that show. And in the interview, he literally starts talking to the crowd, and the crowd sings it with him. I don't know, but I kind of get the impression it is not like they are not being shown the lyrics. I think a lot of them just like
They just knew.
And it's fucking awesome.
That's dope.
All right, what's your ostensible last entry?
True Blood had an awesome opener. While that show absolutely jumps the shark and goes places it shouldn't have, and it just should have stopped. And it's a perfect example of shows that go on way too long and just needed to quit. It is an awesome opener. It is this just terrific kind of bluegrass rock song that just it sets the vibe right because it's set in like a small town in Louisiana, and it just fits. Everything about the show for it just fits. Like, I'm
trying to remember the fucking town it's set in, and I cannot.
I can't either. And it does the right thing where it's not a super bombastic song. It's got a bit of intrigue and it's pretty low key and it just kind of fits. It fits very well for the narrative of the town. It fits very well for the narrative of the people involved.
The show, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if it was made for that or if it's an independent song, to be fair, but it fits so well. So it's such a great mood setter for that whole show. Until it fucking goes crazy.
Yeah. Also, fun little thing is like their outros were always different, and they were the song that I believe the episode was. All the episodes are song names, if I remember correctly, and all the outros are versions of the song that is the title. I believe
that's really cool, actually.
Yeah. All right, you can see it. The fans at home cannot. Are we gonna reference the last little hanging Chad?
I'm indifferent. Do what you want.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Okay.
And as we fuck them, you should take. We're gonna send to our sponsor. Have a nice little ad break. See when we've post coitus cleaned up.
Stop talking.
Do you enjoy glorifying serial killers and worshiping crime in all its forms? What? No, of course not. But do you? Don't worry. You're not alone. There are tons of people who get a thrill hearing about the horrible, wacky, and sadistic things that the worst of us will do to one another. And thanks to the forced incarceration of the world during COVID, the desire for true crime documentaries has only ballooned into a social phenomenon rivaled only by the MCU. And whether you want to look at crimes gone wrong, bank robberies gone sideways, or just some of the truly awful and twisted and sadistic things from the minds of Ted Bundy and the like, you can be sure that you'll find someone to narrate it at you in a pace that is just too slow for normal conversation. What are you waiting for? Find your correct criminal today.
Why, hello. Thank you for returning.
Despite us trying to drive you away.
We're all showered up and ready to get on with
Shut the fuck up.
Aren't you glad I didn't say banana?
I wish my internet died. I'm sad it let me come back. All right. My recommendation of the week. Someone's driving this bus. It's gonna be me. So my recommendation this week. I've been reading the book Project Hail Mary. It's great. Andy Weir is a phenomenal author.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It was a Christmas present. It took me a little bit to get started, and I've been probably going to finish it today, actually. But it's terrific. It's he does. Indie is a phenomenal contrast to a lot of the shit I've been reading, where it's all gritty and dark and conflict. And this is, despite it having a really somber topic, and like it's got huge stakes and all this stuff. Um, but his writing is not confrontational or particularly gritty or dark. It's always given this kind of interesting twist of optimism. And it's not that there aren't very real moments of like kind of despondency for the main character, but it's that everything kind of has this optimistic problem solving twist. Where it's like, okay, how can we get out of this situation? And it emphasizes this kind of thought of collaboration rather than competition.
Mm-hmm.
So since I've been coming off the heels of reading a lot of Joe Abercrombie, where everything is a competition, everything is conflict, everyone can go fuck themselves, it's kind of refreshing to read something where people are just like, we have a mutual problem, let's solve it. Like,
Yeah.
he also does an exceptional job with the math behind real world problem solving. And I mean,
Wait,
it's
is he
the
like
same
one
guy.
of the people that people will like if on the they did the math, they're usually like, "Yep, nailed it."
Yeah. I mean, because he's the guy who wrote The Martian. He's the guy who wrote Artemis. He he does the math. He does the physics. Like, and to my like, so the only thing that people have punched a hole in, like regarding The Martian, is the kind of inciting event for The Martian is like the storm.
Oh yeah, that like
That can't happen. There isn't enough atmosphere on Mars to have a storm like that. Like that can't happen. There isn't enough like barometric pressure to facilitate a storm.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
other than
possible.
that, like
But other than that, nail it. 10 out of 10. Like the math checks out, including like the caloric content and stuff from eating potatoes, and everything he does to set up his potato plant, etc. And so this one is a little more abstract. It's got some interesting things that like don't exist, so you can't say they're right or they're wrong. But he does the math around it. And so it's like mechanism A, we don't really know because I don't want to get spoilers because it's a fairly new book. So mechanism A exists, and we can't understand why it works. But once you start interacting with it, he can explain the math behind it. Because it has rules it has to follow. They're
Yeah.
just kind of crazy, and we don't know how it does it, but we do know what it does. So it's great. It's not a super long book, and it's very easy to read. I highly recommend it. It's very good.
hell yeah. So on my recommends this week, it's been kind of sitting, lulling its way, is Dungeons and Dragons. The movie is great, super fun, lighthearted. They do a great job kind of showcasing what makes Dungeons and Dragons fun, and it's lighthearted, absurdist kind of humor while staying mildly on topic. It's got great chemistry, it's got great vibes to it, good music, a believable story that matters but doesn't. It kind of does all the right things and none of the wrong things. Highly recommend. They only commit in quotes one sin, and it's very forgivable because it's about vibes. So, like, who cares?
Yeah.
And lastly, unless my co-host has a musical denouement, I'm going to close this out with recommending, since I talked about him earlier and remembered he exists, Ghost Writers by RJD2. It's the first song I heard by him. Everybody's heard the song and has probably forgotten about it or didn't know that's what the song was. It's busted. It's great. It's just kind of, it's his magnum opus, and I would really recommend checking it out if you haven't heard it or forgot what it sounds like, because Lord knows that's what I'm going to do. Just here in a moment after we close out this episode. So thanks for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this, please feel free to
Like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
but don't forget, new episodes of Super Pros Bros come out the first and third Saturday of every month.
Bye.